Right, what we're doing here then. This is a parcel shelf out of a B2 Coupe GT Quattro. Yeah, not too bad for a 30+ year old part. Carpet's pretty good, but yeah, let's have a look without the carpet. Oh, right, we've got something there. We've got damage around the speakers. Extra holes drilled in, of course. Surprised we've got no 6x9s here. Nice big chunk there. Chunk missing on the end. See it better on the other side. I've taken all the foam off. Just use a wire brush. If you wear a pair of gloves, you can pull it quite well with a pair of gloves too. Just going to go around the edges. Anything that's sort of sticking out there will catch, and then on these inside parts where they split, glue gun, piece of material, plastic, something like that to hold it down, and then to keep it nice and flat I'll put a piece of wood behind it because it's got a bit of a bow, as they always do have. And then the idea is to make a fiberglass mould, and after I've made the mould I can then go on and make myself a fiberglass one, change the speaker holes, build it up, put bigger speakers in, whatever I like. Do some photos next and I'll show you how I'm getting on. Next bit then, cover these holes up. Got to fill them in with something, so I'm just using this bit left over from another project. It's called trade protection sheet, and if you're building a new house or something like that and you've got nice flooring, you put this down. It's like a corrugated plastic just to protect your flooring. I got it from a local big supplier, well known. I won't say the initials, but I'm sure a few of you will know. It's not a barbecue, but it's not far off. Get this cut to size and then just glue gun it around the holes. When we flip it over to the other side, a bit of wax round to seal it so nothing creeps through and it doesn't bond to the panel. Right, all the holes covered up. Ooh, too fast there. On this curve, easy enough just to use a pair of scissors and score it. Stuff bends nicely. This white is polypropylene sheet I picked up locally. Really good stuff. Even keep a big bag of offcuts for small jobs like this. It was quite cheap. It was a roll end, and that gives a nice smooth finish. Sticks on with the glue gun. Quickest way, glue around the outside, put the part on, and then just give it a bit of a turn. Seems to make the glue dry a bit quicker. Right, onto the other side now. We need to start waxing up any holes or see any cracks or anything like that. If you get an extra bit of glue you don't want, just get a razor blade, scrape it off. That needs a bit of a sand down first. Not going to spend ages on this because I don't think I'll be making that many. I'll end up probably just taping over it so then I can put a layer of tooling gel coat on and then go from there. Right, all those bits are done. Got a couple of wooden supports here, just glue gunned on, making sure it's nice and level. There. And go around and wax all the gaps. And then a bit of cardboard tube, cut to size, put that underneath, glue it down to the table so it doesn't move, and then get on with doing the taping, and then hopefully, before I have to go home, get some gel coat on. Next step then, I've got some supports in. Don't have to be brilliant, just stops it wobbling around quite so much. Right, around these edges you don't want the tooling gel coat to go underneath because then it'll stick and you'll never get it off. This is called filleting wax. This is available, I get it from a local supplier. I won't say who the supplier is because they're not sponsoring me. Hopefully if they see this video they might ring Chase Classic Cars up and say, we deal with you, we'll supply you with some stuff at a reduced rate or even free. Be very nice. We've got some tape. This is called flash release tape. If you want to use it, go over any holes or anything. Might put it over this crack just to see if I can get it a bit smoother. Obviously it's release tape so it releases nicely from the mould. Next things, going around any edges, put your wax in and then you can get a nice smooth edge with one of these tools. Again, the sponsor isn't a sponsor yet, so he's not supplied these. On their website they're about £40, but if you look up cake decorating tools you'll find those, and I think I bought those off a certain auction site for about £7 delivered, and they do the job exactly the same. Right, got a bit ahead of myself. It's got the tooling gel coat on, took about 600-700 grams of it. You weigh it in weight rather than volume, works out about the same though. 2% MEKP. Made sure it went over everything nice, not a massive thick layer, but it's got to be obviously good coverage. You don't want to see anything, brush marks, you don't want to see anything underneath it. Did that, and then I've gone on and put what's called a coupling coat to link the two together before I put the laminating, the tooling laminating resin on, and that'll be the next step. This is only 100 GSM chopped strand mat, gets the contours really well because it's so thin, and then I'll just go on and I'll do 2, maybe 3 layers of 450 to give it some strength. Might even put a piece of wood or bit of pipe, tube, something along it just to give it an added bit of strength, so when you're pulling your part out of the mould it won't split it, because we don't want that after we've gone through all this trouble. You can see I have ended up having to put thicker around the edges of the cutouts. Not really supposed to have air gaps. Done the best I can. We'll just have to hope it doesn't split when it comes to take it out. Leave that for 24 hours now, and then the next thing will be cutting the thicker cloth. Cut it in advance. When I say cut it, I mean rip it. Don't use scissors because you want a nice feathered edge like this edge, so they mesh together when you put different layers over. Wouldn't do it all in one piece. Sorry about the rattling door, there's a storm going on outside. Don't do it in one piece, do it in multiple pieces. These pieces here I've had to sort of rip to get the contours. The thin stuff's okay, the thick stuff really won't want to do it, so you're better doing sort of a patch. You could probably do a big one there in one go. When you get to these edges, just rip it all the way round and it makes a nice curve to it. Another thing I'll mention is where I started. I started right up at this corner because I wanted this overhang section covering first. I wet it across the top, wet it there before I wet it there, let it soak in, and then you can always go back, stiff brush, pounce it down rather than spreading it, because if you spread it, it moves all the matting around. Again, when it came to these corners, spread it, work my way in. If there were any sort of folds, because the material obviously comes folded up, you've got to get that out. So gone in this direction, get to the end, made sure all this was wetted really well all the way across the end, then started to fold it down. If you do that first and then you do that, you might end up with a bump. You're never going to get it perfectly down otherwise. So that's the way that I've done it. I don't know if it's the right way or not, but it's always worked whenever I've made a mould, made any parts. Cut the corners again, just so it's an easy fold. So this side, yeah, did the top bit, went all the way round, tried to get as much as I can in there. You can see there are some bubbles, but it's going to be cut out around that edge, so hopefully won't matter because there'll be bigger speakers there. This is the basis when I make one in fibreglass, that I can then build up layers and make different shapes. You can even have it at, coming out a bit more of an angle so you can get some more depth with magnets and speakers. You will have to cover it afterwards with cloth. Some of the van lining cloths are pretty good. You can get lots of shape to them. You can use a steamer, steam it, and it'll take the shape a bit better. All depends on the thickness you're using. Right, next part of the video will be showing when it's laminated with the tooling laminating resin, and then after that, once it's dry, which will be after Christmas, I'm guessing now, because I don't think the wife will let me in on Christmas Day, I can trim all these edges off and then turn it over, get some wedges, pop it out of the mould. We'll show you how to do that. It'll probably be photos because I can't hold a camera and do it at the same time. Right then, left it for 24 hours. As you can see, this is the colour it's supposed to be when it's dried. This is not quite dried yet, so we'll wait to cut it out another day. It's probably because it's very cold at the moment. Don't know if you can make that out. It's cold. Really should be done at warmer temperatures, but needs to be done.